Welcome to the fourth Idea Juicer to last fall. This is the second one of this fall. My name is Stacy Keefe. I'm the Executive Director of the RBD Idea. We are an office on campus out of the Chancellor's office that has a mission to spread entrepreneurship into every discipline on campus. So we work closely with everyone across campus, Whitman, Newhouse High School, to spread entrepreneurship everywhere. First off, I want to thank AT&T. They actually donated $1,000 towards this juicer, so I'd like to give them a round of applause. Thank you, AT&T. And so actually, Billy Seskovich is going to be your host today. He is a fourth student Idea Juicer to last fall. This is the second one of this fall.
Thanks, Stacy. Hi, everybody. My name is Billy Seskovich. I am your feline themed host this fine Halloween. And so, yeah, I'm going to be taking you through the ropes today. I'm really excited to see the 4 different companies that are going to be pitching to us for the prizes. And so, in addition to the generous gift that AT&T gave to help fund the Idea Juicer, AT&T is also actually sponsoring right now a virtual hackathon, the Central New York Civic App Challenge. And so developers are working all the way until November 11th on apps that benefit the community surrounding us. So stay tuned for more info on that. If you're interested in submitting, please come talk to me. I can give you more info. Also, a bit of a background on one of our fantastic judges. I'll be telling you more along the way about some others. So today, one of our judges is Laura Welch. So Laura is a Deputy Director of the Center for Advanced Systems and Engineering at Syracuse University, otherwise known as CASE. CASE supports research to catalyze growth in the high-tech economy. Laura is also an entrepreneur herself. She's the president of Exceptional Equines, LLC, which develops quality junior and amateur show hunters for lease and sale. So with that, I'd like to get started. Our first...
audience can ask questions.
Oh, yes. Audience, feel free to ask questions after the pitch has concluded. So our first pitch is going to be fast casual sushi. You ready? Yeah. Let's take it away. Here you go. Yeah.
Okay. Is everyone ready? Your timer ready? Start whenever?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Jimmy Zhang.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yep.
Just hold it.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Jimmy Zhang, and today I'm going to be pitching the idea of fast casual sushi. So before we get started, let me introduce you who I am. I am a second-year MBA student this year. I'll be finishing up in May. But throughout my entire life, I have been in the restaurant industry. My family and I have always been in the small business restaurant industry. So I started off as Chinese takeout, and slowly, we've shifted from Chinese takeout to sushi. So, before we begin, can someone tell me something about sushi? What's the first word they think of when they hear sushi? Yum. Fresh. Expensive. Who said expensive? Thanks, Todd. Right. So sushi right now is a really expensive luxury type of item, right? Whenever you go out to sushi, you're about to bring a nice girl, maybe the family. It's going to be a nice time, and you're willing to put your wallet on the line. So with this, we see a problem that sushi is so expensive that it's not accessible to everybody. So what we want to try to do is we want to make sushi more casual. An item that's already, in other cultures, as more of a commodity item. So in Eastern Asia, people go out to sushi as a lunch date, maybe with a colleague, say, hey, you want to come out? You want to get lunch with me today? Let's go grab some sushi. So the mission is changing the way Americans think about sushi, that sushi does not have to be this luxury high-end item. It could be this commodity item, and it could be cheap and affordable, and it could be accessed by everybody, but we don't have to worry about it. You know, the sushi is like $4. Is it going to be safe to eat? That's not the case. With working my family down at Sakanai Sushi, we have seen that there's a huge, huge margin that people put on sushi now, and that it doesn't cost as much as we think it does. So the business model we're trying to propose, we're trying to be the Chipotle of sushi. We want to lower the price down of sushi where it's affordable to everybody, and it's less intimidating going. Sometimes, you know, if you're new to sushi, it might be kind of intimidating taking that first step into the restaurant and just sitting down and opening the menu and going, what is everything? So what we want to try to do is we want to get people into our store, and we want to try to have this open bar layout. And with this bar layout, people can come in and they can see everything. So instead of looking at a menu as, what's hamachi? They can see, oh, what's that whitefish? And they can instantly link it with the employee working. So first, let's grab something to eat. All right, so this is sushi that was made from Sakanai. Mine. So at Sakanai, we do half off Monday sushis, and this is the exact product we offer. No skimping, no nothing, of the highest quality sushi. And it's been working really well. So already people had in their minds, at least for one day, that lower cost sushi does not mean not safe sushi. This is another restaurant that's already starting to do this idea. It's called Let's Roll. And as you see, there are lower cost affordable sushi, and a ton of people come in and they think it's safe to eat. So what we want to do is we want to try to start changing the culture of how people look at sushi, one step at a time. So what's next is that I'm proposing with the $500 I win, I want to buy a food cart which I can move around Syracuse and start changing people's habits by offering this lower quality sushi, by linking Sakanaya to it, which is already known as a premium brand sushi in central New York, but start lowering the cost down little by little by little to start changing the way people think. And then as this starts to catch on more, what we can start to do is we can start moving into a full location and start creating the whole atmosphere aspect. Thank you very much, everyone. Questions and comments on the sushi?
So the judges can start off with questions, and once you guys have completed, we'll open it up to the audience as well.
You guys have your own mic too.
Oh, this is just this. I can share this.
Yes.
Oh, not your own mic. Our own mic. I guess I was saying that's a good. Okay. My question is, who do you think your target market is?
Our target market is anybody of any sort of price consciousness. So this sushi here is considered upper middle class, but it's not so high class where the sushi connoisseurs will come in. So that's not the people we're trying to target. We're trying to target for the general audience. Anybody that really loves eating sushi, but maybe they can't afford it all the time.
Have you done any market research to find out if there is a market? I mean, if there is a market there where you're saying, because I'm thinking that the problem might not be that they can't afford it. It's just that they don't know about it, or they're not into it, or there's something else that's stopping them from actually trying it.
Absolutely. We have done a little bit of research, and that's through testing through Sakanai. So we're open 7 days a week, and then Monday and Wednesdays we have our deal days. So on Mondays we have half off sushi, and on Wednesdays we have $25 all you can eat sushi. What happened was, with these deal days, well, our main goal was to try to get customers to come into the slower days of the week. So we're trying to stimulate just people to come in and try it, and if they like it, maybe they'll come another day. Well, it started off with, it started picking up a little bit. And what became was these days became the 2 strongest days in our most revenue generating days. So people are coming in now just because they can know they can get this quality for a lower price.
Are they different than the other people? I mean, could they be your current customers that come in?
Yep. So the people that come in now are much more price sensitive. So when they come in, they won't come in the other days. The people that come in the other days, they don't want to deal with that horde of people. So they still come in the normal days and they're willing to pay.
We haven't seen any financials on this. Like, what are the margins for current sushi? What are the margins here? What kind of volume do you actually have to do to make this model make sense?
Currently, the margin on that plate, if I were to sell it to you through Sakanai, is about 90%. So the way we're going to price our sushi, we'll still be able to price at 70%, which is the industry average for takeout and fast casual restaurants. So we'll still be able to be a healthy, viable business.
So we often see a lot of food carts that come through, the juicers and whatnot. Have you looked into the food cart industry here? I hear that there's a lottery of some sort. Could you elaborate on that, if you know anything about it?
Yeah, so the basic idea is we don't want to become a food cart. We want to become fast casual. The reason I'm proposing this food cart idea is really to pilot this, let me bring back the picture. Pilot this customability. So part of the way that we're going to add value to the customers to let them know that this sushi is safe to eat, even though it's cheaper, is that we have to add value to them sometimes. So one of the things is we're going to make it from them. The second way is it can be totally customized to your liking. So they're not stuck with like the basic roll or some rolls they don't want. So because what some restaurants do now to limit the price on the sushi is they set the rolls. So they're fixing their cost in every sushi. Instead, we want to make it more flexible so we can give the customers some options.
You guys already asked all the good questions. So really the only question, I guess, to tie on into, it sounds like you're really just taking advantage of the infrastructure you already have with your family and the business. So I guess from a marketing, financial perspective, it sounds like we're going to need some support on that. But scaling, so you get the $500, get the food cart, this is dovetail on the financial thing. How many people are going to run the cart? Like how many sushi roll, kind of hand roll bandits there at the most? And there's a line of people, right?
Okay.
And this strikes me as a more time-consuming process. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
This is another way that we're changing culture a lot. You said it yourself. You think it's more time-consuming, right? But that whole plate of sushi took 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And the best part is sushi is already so standardized that you can teach anybody. So at Sakanai, we have one head chef that he kind of runs the show. But all of his helpers, everybody that's actually there rolling the sushi, they were all people hired with zero kitchen experience. And through our training process, we trained them, and they can come up to speed to make that in 3
There are an
minutes.
awful lot of competitors in the inexpensive sushi market right now. I mean, you have a huge sushi bar at Wegmans, and more grocery stores are offering sushi. I realize it's not customized, but that seems like a pretty crowded, competitive landscape.
I want to say that I'm going to disagree with that, and that Wegmans sushi is not inexpensive. You go to Wegmans, and you can buy this roll right here, a spicy tuna roll, for $7. It's the same exact price that we pay. The reason Wegmans feels like it's inexpensive is that they package it into one little package, and it looks like a full meal. So you're buying one roll in a nicely packaged, and it looks like a full meal. Whereas you go down a sit-down restaurant, you're going to pay the exact same price, but they put it on such a big plate, it doesn't feel like it's a full meal. You don't feel like you're going to get full off of it. So you end up ordering more sushi, which makes it feel like it's really expensive.
So you want to have a food cart. Syracuse is known for its interesting climate, seasons, the seasonality of your food cart. Have you thought about that at all?
I have. So with a food cart, what makes it flexible is one thing is you can move it around, right? And as you said, Syracuse with the seasonality, it's going to be a little bit more challenging in the wintertime. So we're not going to be able to just roll it outside anywhere. However, there's a lot of places downtown in buildings such as the Equitable building, the Lincoln Center, that they have big lobby areas, and in the wintertime, they do have some food carts in there to try to serve their people. So we can in the wintertime, we can get into these type of areas, and then in the summertime, we can kind of move out and walk around. Also, Destiny USA is another place that we can go into in the wintertime. More questions?
Well, Destiny seems very expensive. Again, going back to the economics, how can you make money with just that one food cart? And it seems like it's not very big, right? So it's a little limited in regards to its options. Plus, you have, what's that restaurant in Destiny that does the sushi? Tokyo. Kodo, right?
So the food, as I said before, the food cart is not the end goal there. It's just this beginning stepping stone. That what we want to do is really want to pilot this. So we want to pull this and show the Syracuse people what we're all about, and we can start shaping our menu correctly. Because there's tons and tons of options, right? And right now, we don't know what's the fish that people really want. So with a food cart, we can actually test really easily and quickly. Every day, we can just load up the food cart with different items. And we keep on testing until we get a certain menu that are like, all right, this is going to work. And as we go around, as the popularity grows, as this idea becomes to catch on, we're going to get rid of the food cart and we're going to actually open the store. So this is really just a pilot stepping stone onto the next step.
Okay, so what kind of so you're basically trying to create the pilot, the store.
Right.
This is market research, basically,
Yep.
sort of. What types of marketing do you think you have to do to educate the public and also drive that traffic to your store?
One of the things that we want to do is, because we already have an established brand of Sakanai, which just offers quality. With this, we are going to link onto Sakanai. So it's not going to be exactly called Sakanai per se. It might be called Sakanai to go. and we want to have this weak, tight connection between the two restaurants. So when customers come, they have a sense of security saying, oh, this stuff came from Sakanaya, and I know what the quality is at Sakanaya, so I should feel safe going there.
We still have time?
I think it's been like
Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's open it up. Does anybody in the audience have questions?
I'm not a big sushi fan, but you have like a sampler where you have not full, like a half bite size, different things that people can try for a cheaper price and try to buy a big thing and they're not might not like it.
So are you asking, do I have something like that currently now, or will I implement it?
Or both.
Currently now at Sakanaya, you can do something like that. The neat thing about Sakanaya is that it's a conveyor belt sushi bar. So it puts food on little plates, and because the plates are small, you can't fit a whole entire roll on it. So they put half rolls on it, and then you also pay half the price as well. So you can try it now.
Yeah. Any
More questions?
Cool. Judges.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you again to Fast Casual Sushi. Sounds delicious. And it looks delicious too.
Thank you.
So next up, one of our other judges, Alex Kostakis. So she's an assistant professor of entrepreneurial practice at the Whitman School here at Syracuse University. She's the CEO of European Driving Academy, Inc., which is a high-performance driving school in Syracuse and specializes in teaching students all levels of car control. Another cool opportunity that we have coming up here with the IDEA Group is the RBD IDEA Awards. They're being held in the spring. So they're held in the spring, and they are similar to the Idea Juicer, except at a higher scale. Students from across the university can pitch their startups in a wider variety of categories and win up to several $1,000s. So we encourage all of those participants today to join us at the IDEA Awards this spring, and hopefully some of the audience members here as well will be able to join us too. So next up, we have our second company, Spark Charge. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool.
Thank you. All right, so I have a question for everybody here. Who knows what an electric vehicle is? Oh, that's great. Everybody does. Next question. Who knows what range anxiety is? That's because you guys know. You in the back, how do you know what range anxiety is? You drive an electric car? Oh, you're going to love me by the end of this presentation. Who else had their hand up that knows what range anxiety is? You, how do you know what range anxiety is?
Because I know all about electric cars.
Yeah.
You're still going to love me by the end of the presentation.
Why I don't own one.
Yeah.
Why? You are definitely going to love me by the end of the presentation. Okay.
Do you have
So,
more sushi?
no. So, my name's Josh Habib. I'm the CEO of a company called Spark Charge. Our mission is to end range anxiety for every electric vehicle owner. So what is range anxiety? Range anxiety is the fear of not being able to get from point A to point B in your electric car because you run out of electricity. It's a fear that every electric vehicle owner has, and it's very problemsome. So a lot of people, like you said, won't buy an electric car because of range anxiety. And it's something that's holding the industry back.
Hello, my name's Cheryl, and I have range anxiety. I thought buying an electric car would make me cooler than the other moms. I thought I could go green while dropping Susie off for piano lessons and Timmy for soccer practice. I'd go to their school and the grocery store and the bank, and by the time I got halfway to the PTA meeting, battery would die. I've been stranded 17 times. The kids haven't seen their grandmother in 8 months. She lives 65 miles away. Let's go to Steve.
All right, so Spark Charge is trying to end that. What we came up with was an idea that we would put charging stations in major cities and we would put them along the highway at rest stops. So we said, what if we could take somebody in an electric car and drive them from Syracuse, New York, all the way to Rochester, New York, and they have no fear of running out of battery. So we said, how would we do that? We said, well, if you live in Syracuse, New York, they're probably going to have a charger, right? So they're probably going to be able to charge at their home because every electric vehicle sold is given a charger. But when they leave Syracuse, if they're driving, the average electric vehicle, they're probably going to have about 100 miles of range. The Nissan Leaf, 100 miles of range. The Mitsubishi Meave, 100 miles of range. So we said we have to put them with the space these stations probably about 50 miles apart. And we did a lot of market research, calling electric vehicle owners on PlugShare, talking to electric vehicle magazines, and finding out, what do these owners need? And they said, why don't you find a place to put them every 40 miles? They said, because in the winter, when it gets cold, the battery life is shortened dramatically. So we said, okay, what if we put them at these rest stops? Somebody driving from Syracuse, New York to Rochester could stop 40 miles at Julius Bond Travel Plaza, charge, and then get to Rochester and still have a 20% battery in the dead of winter, which will give them enough time to either charge in Rochester or make it to a destination in Rochester. And then we said, well, how about coming back? So we said, oh, great. There just happens to be another stop, Clifton Springs Travel Plaza, 30 miles away from Rochester, which means that if you're driving from Rochester, you can stop here, charge, 24 hours, safe, well lit, you're not gonna have any problems, 240-volt charger, and then make it to Syracuse, your destination, with no problems. And we began working on this, and we actually just got a lot of traction. So how do we make our money, a lot of people say? Well, we buy these charging stations from a manufacturer that we partnered up with called SemiConnect. What SemiConnect does, they provide us with the stations, and we then install them. So this is an example of the contract that we just signed with the Syracuse Sheraton here on campus. Pretty much what we do is we provide the charging station, we install the charging station, we'll do marketing on our website, and with SemiConnect, we partnered up with them. If anything happens to the station, we do the maintenance on it, we'll come and fix it, and wherever we install, that business also gets points towards LEED certification. We also provide them a clean energy report that tells them how much CO2 is being taken out of the air and how many gallons of gas that business is actually saving by allowing electric vehicles to charge there. We then charge them a fee. So this is an example. We charge them for the installation, but not for the hardware. And then when people come to the electric vehicle charging station, we charge them a low 40-cent a kilowatt hour fee to charge. So this is a picture of our station. We currently own 4. We were funded by NYSERDA this summer. We were able to purchase 4, which is our pilot network from Syracuse to Rochester. And we also partnered up with a company called Recargo. Also, you guys might know them as PlugShare. What this allows people to do is the app called PlugShare. You can go onto your phone, anybody here for smartphone, and you can pay to use the charging station with your phone. No need to, okay, go. Sorry.
Okay, thank you very much. So hold on to the mic. Judges, you got about 5 minutes for questions, and I'll be a little more clear.
How long to get a full charge?
Depends on your car. Okay, so if you have a Tesla, right? So Tesla has a battery about the size
Let's
of
pick a Leaf, because I don't see a lot of Teslas.
Okay, so a Leaf, if you're charging empty, might take you about 2.5 to 3 hours. But that's from 0 to full. And if you drive an electric vehicle, because your fear is range anxiety, you're not going to stop in and charge at 0, because then you're pushing it.
Okay, but I need to drive to Rochester. I have an appointment. I leave work at 5 p.m. I absolutely have to be there by 7.
Okay.
Can I get enough of a charge to actually make a difference?
So let's say you leave your house with a full charge, right? You will make it to Rochester, but you will only have 10% battery. If you stop and charge for 10 minutes, get a drink of water, 20 minutes, use the bathroom, by the time you get to Rochester, instead of having 10%, you'll have 20%. So it's not really, I guess you kind of change the mentality of it. It's not, okay, how much does it cost? It's not how much the time. It's how much you're actually leaving your original destination in terms of battery, in terms of how much it's going to, in terms of time, how much it's going to take to get to the next destination.
Right, but I still can't meaningfully do a round trip to Rochester unless there's a charging station at my destination, because I'm just not going to have enough.
Right, and so we solved that issue. Well, we solved that issue. If you're going from Syracuse to Rochester, we'll charge you along the way. We'll charge you when you get there. You'll have a certified destination, 240-volt charger, fast charger, and we'll charge you on your way back. So if you're going to a meeting, and you're parking in the city of Rochester, we have a station in the city of Rochester that will charge you.
Right, but I'm not going into the city of Rochester. I'm going to Honeoye Falls. I do 5 days a week. This would not actually help me much at all.
Where's Honeoye Falls?
About 15 minutes south of Rochester. Right off of 90, but still my destination is just far enough off of 90 and far enough from your charging stations, it doesn't sound like it would help me.
Well, if you charge at Julius Pond and you leave Syracuse with a full tank, when you get to Rochester, you'll have about 30% left, which will get you 15 minutes outside of Rochester.
but then I'm still gonna have to sit somewhere for a couple of hours and charge it all the way up to get back home.
Yeah. I'm like, I mean, that's the way
I
electric.
still have a ton of anxiety, man.
Well, that's the way electric vehicles work. But I mean, that's not necessarily the way our charging stations work. So, who here knows how an electric car actually charges? Anybody? Good. You're gonna like this. So, the way an electric car charges is almost the same way that you charge your phone. The wall of the outlet, the plug that goes into the outlet doesn't necessarily charge your phone. What charges your phone is the onboard charger in the phone. All the plug does is bring the electricity from that outlet into your phone.
Right.
Same thing with electric cars. There's an onboard charger. There's our station. We pull the electricity safely into your car. Every year, that onboard charger gets upgraded. So let's say the 2015 model has a 7.7 kilowatt charger. That means that our stations are pumping out 30 kilowatts, and your car is only accepting 7 out of that 30. But every year, it gets upgraded by the automobile company. Next year, they'll have 10. Maybe the next year after that, you have 12. And so the car charging will get faster and faster and faster and faster.
Someday, I'll buy an electric car, but your product right now is not getting there. Anyway.
So I guess my question more, business model wise, it's twofold. How are you gonna make money? Like enough money for this to be a worthwhile venture?
Okay, so we make our money up front when we install. We make a profit off the install, and then we make the rest of the money on the station back when people actually come and use it. So we make money in two ways. We make money in the very beginning when we actually make the sale, and we make money after the sale when people come and charge the car.
Second question is, Tesla, they're developing their supercharger network. How are you going to compete with a company like Tesla when they start penetrating this area, which they will do at some point
Very good
in
question.
the very near term?
Okay, so if you drive a Tesla, that means you can only charge with the Tesla plug. We use a J1772 plug, which is standard across every automobile, which means we can charge a Tesla, we can charge a Nissan Leaf, we can charge a Chevy Volt, we can charge a Mitsubishi Mini. But the Tesla stations cannot charge that Nissan Leaf, cannot charge the Mitsubishi Mini, cannot charge that Chevy Volt. So we're not really competing with Tesla. We're actually doing a better job than Tesla because we're putting basically stations on the highway where everybody can use them. Tesla and any other manufacturer, where Tesla, you pull up, if you're not a Tesla, then you can't use it. So
What if Tesla decides to?
they won't, because their battery technology is patented. And that's what he actually, if you guys remember the patent, Elon Musk releasing his patents. Okay, never mind, I'm a nerd. So
Yes.
that was his ploy to get other automakers on board to use his connector. It didn't work.
His I won't sue you promise. Yeah.
Because I won't sue you, promise, but you have to give me all your technology over too. And it was a sham. But yeah, that was his ploy to get other people's technology.
I noticed it said the Sheraton's not installed yet. Like, what is the status of that? That's your first installation?
That was our first sale. So
Okay,
that was our first sale. It will be, you guys will actually be able to go see the station, fool around with it. Please don't break it in about 2 weeks.
All right, so my question is, I see what the value might be, that's outside of what Laura said,
That's
to
fine, that's
the owner of an electric vehicle, but you're not selling to the owners of an electric vehicle, are you? You have to get the New York State Thruway Authority on board. Do they make, what's in it for them, and why would they allow you to put these units in there? And the other thing is, why don't they just do it themselves? Why don't they just call up your supplier and say, hey, we'll get you in there?
Very good question. So what's in it for them is almost the same thing that's in it for the Sheraton. When we pitched it to the Sheraton was, hey, look, we're putting this charging station here. When somebody comes to Syracuse, if somebody works in Syracuse, somebody's doing business on the Hill, and they own an electric car, they're incentivized to charge at your hotel. They're incentivized to stay at your hotel. The proposition to the Thruway would be, hey, when these drivers are driving along the highway, which they currently are not, but they will be able to when they install there, they'll be able to come, they'll be able to buy food, they'll be able to take a nap. So it pretty much drives revenue to these Thruway rest stops. And so what was your second question? What you asked too.
Why aren't they just doing it themselves?
Why aren't they doing it themselves?
Why aren't the gas station vendors adding these things?
Okay, very good question. So,
This will be the last judging questions too, and then after this, we'll open it up to the audience.
Sure. Okay. So why wouldn't they do it themselves? What we do is we provide like a full service station to them. So if they would go out and do it themselves, they would have to purchase it for anywhere from $3 grand to $6 grand. Then they'd have to do the maintenance on it. Then they'd have to monitor it. If it breaks, they have to fix it. We handle all that for them. So that's our value proposition to them, is that we take the hassle out of you having to go out and do it yourself, out of finding the electrician to do it for you. We do
So
all
they
that.
pay on a monthly basis?
No, they pay flat rate up front. And then we make our money when people charge there, and we don't pay for electricity. They pay for the electricity. Your question was?
Why wouldn't the vendors who already have infrastructure, like say a
Exxon.
roof,
Okay.
go ahead and install?
So I can't ask why they wouldn't, but I can tell you why it wouldn't work. So the reason why it wouldn't work is when you buy an electric car, they're given a charger. So it's almost like saying when you buy a gas car, I'm going to give you the Exxon pump for you to take home. Anybody who lives in Syracuse or works in Syracuse isn't going to want to charge outside at an Exxon and pay when they can charge at home for free. They're going to charge. They're going to want to charge if they travel. They're going to want to charge when they go out to work. They're going to want to charge when they go out to eat. But they're not going to want to sit at an Exxon and charge in the city.
Well, guys, but like, what about at the service?
Away from your home.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
there's vendors of various kinds at the service plazas that already have structures, for example, with a roof. That why wouldn't they just do this themselves and then they make the money on those basis?
We're trying to beat them to it. I guess that's the only answer, that we're trying to beat them to that. Well, good job.
Cool. Okay.
Any other questions?
Any questions from the audience?
Go ahead.
Okay, so you start rolling this out and states start seeing, wow, this is profit. What's going to happen when the state starts going and decides that we can't do this?
Josh, can you repeat the question so that everyone can hear it?
Okay, I'm trying to, let me figure it out. So you're saying what happens at the state after we've installed or before?
After you guys started, the state starts coming in, they start having their own initiative, green energy, saving the environment, making more money, making more tax dollars. How do you combat that?
Well, if they're going to do it themselves, then it's going to cost them a lot more money. We compensate with that because we're cheaper than them doing it themselves. So if, the New York Thruway said, okay, hey, we're going to do this themselves, we'd say, you can do that yourself, but if you go with us, it's a lot cheaper, it's a lot easier.
No, I'm not saying the stores themselves, or the state starts.
Oh, like the states just start installing
Yeah,
them?
so New York State comes and they're going to put one in the Sheridan, they're going to put one here, they start installing all over the streets.
I don't know. I don't see it happening. The simple fact that they would eventually have to buy from a supplier. It would still be more expensive for them to buy from the supplier, install it, pay somebody to install it, do everything themselves, than having a private company like us come in and do the work for them. So, I guess it kind of works out the same way. It'd still be more expensive, even if the state itself decided to do it. Any other questions? Do I drive an electric car? No, I'm in the process of getting one. So.
Yeah, I don't have a question. I just want to say I think it's a really great product.
Thank you.
Any others from the audience?
Oh, wait. So what would the money go to? A lot of you guys who had questions about electric cars, what we plan on using the $500 for is to throw an EV fair. We partnered up with EMA Marketing, Eric Mallon Associates Marketing, to throw an EV fair here at Syracuse in the parking lot of Waverly. We plan on using $300 for the parking spot to lease it. We plan on giving $100 in Chipotle out. You guys can come talk to real electric vehicle drivers here in Syracuse who drive these things and talk to them, ask all your questions about them, ask them about range anxiety. We'll be there also for you guys to ask more questions, us too. Thank you.
Actually, Tony, did you have a question? Oh, cool. Okay, thank you. Thank you again, Spark Charge. So, next of our judges, Dan Rickman. Dan is the Economic Development Specialist with the local office of the U.S. Small Business Association. He is also the founder and president of the Payroll Guy LLC, a payroll processing service. Also, another one of the upcoming events or recurring events we have is the Idea Chat series. Idea Chat is a bi-weekly webcast where we go on air with entrepreneurs and successful tech industry veterans from around the world and talk to them about their experiences. I am one of the co-hosts of it. Tom, who was here earlier, is also another one. Our next chat is going to be this upcoming Wednesday at 6 p.m., so join us online. And so next up, we have Pray. You ready, Keen?
Oh, totally. Let's do it. Thank you so much. It's set up real quick. I got the clicker. I don't know where that got.
Right here.
Right here.
This one.
Oh, sure.
Yes, yes. Sure this works, and it definitely does. Okay. So, I got a lot of things in my hand right now. How's everyone doing today? Good?
Good.
My name's Keith. I'm the founder of Prey. At Prey, we make these 3D printed innovative fishing lures. All right, let me tell you a little bit more about me and my team. So I grew up fishing in bass tournaments, and I grew up making fishing lures. And so it's just something I really loved doing that kind of turned into a business. I complemented that with my backgrounds in fisheries science and entrepreneurship to do this startup where I'm basically making these cool 3D printed fishing lures. I have so many people to thank for how far. Of course, IDEA, Corey Hatchery, and a makerspace, professors on campus, John Liddy down at the Sandbox, so many people. And Rob Graffito, he helps me understand the market. He's been selling fishing lures for about 30 years. So what is sport fishing and what are fishing lures? Well, think of sport fishing like the object of finding the right key for a certain lock. Fish are locks and lures are keys. The sport of sport fishing is to go through your collection of keys and figure out which one's going to unlock the fish that given day. Which means that anglers value products that are built to perform on fish biology because that's how you match keys to locks in this game. But they also value products that are easy to use and work across a lot of different settings because you never know what's going to happen out in the water. And I found this to be the most deciding factors, the highest in importance of value propositions for getting anglers to buy new products. And I do that through market research. When I go fishing, I talk to guys and gals I meet out in the water. So companies that successfully market on those two value propositions and a few others grow pretty big. This might be a larger industry than some people are aware of. We're talking every Cabela's, every Walmart, every Target in the United States sells fishing lures. Small companies can quickly grow to millions in sales if they are successful at making new and innovative products that catch fish and help anglers think they're going to catch more fish too. Well, that's why we target these two value propositions in making our products. Let me show you what I've made. The Pacer. It's a lure that combines 3 different well-known fishing patterns, the jerkbait, the popper, and the walking style, into one bait seamlessly. It'll do all 3 of those and effectively replace them in your tackle box. But in doing so, it makes a more dynamic, lifelike presentation. Let me demonstrate that for you with a short video. I'm going to use the analogy of a wounded gazelle and a lion, or a prey fish and a predator fish. Oh. Okay, great. So the lion goes after the wounded gazelle because it's the easiest to catch. And the lures that we use look like wounded prey fish for that same reason. So the first presentation you're going to see the Pacer do is the popper. Floating on the surface, it's a prey fish that's just limping along. It's on its last legs, it's just trying to get by. So the popper is a lure that every angler knows and uses and buys. The next one you're going to see is the walking action. That's another lure that all anglers use. It's zigzagging in the water. It's evasive action. That gazelle has seen that lion and it wants to live. It wants to get away. Well, that tells that lion the chase has begun. So the last lure presentation you'll see the Pacer do is a jerkbait. So it's a diving presentation. It goes underwater. This is telling the predator, hey, it's your last opportunity to take the bait because this thing's diving for cover. It wants to get out of the way. It doesn't want to get eaten. And the combination of those 3 presentations increases the effectiveness of this lure. It really signals to fish that this is something real, that this is something that's responding to their presence, which lets them know to take the bait. You know? So that's the premise, the biology behind this product. It's also the first biodegradable hard bait. That's a value proposition that anglers look for in soft plastics. I brought that to the hard plastic world. Okay, so to date, I've sold 42 lures, and I'm very proud to say that. I've had 5 reorders. I've had 1 order from a local tackle shop who really, really believes in what I've created. I have already pre-orders for the holiday season, but the majority of my sales are done through market research. I go out fishing, I'm using my product, I'm prototyping other things I've designed, and I come across folks who want to know what I'm using, and then they want to buy. So that's how I do the majority of my sales right now. But I want to get out of that model. I need help increasing my rate at making these lures because I won't be able to make volumes and sell online if I can't make my production process more efficient. Right now, it takes 10 to 15 days to make a batch. And I'm really bottlenecked at painting. I'm hand painting as I've always had with my fishing lures. And that's really time consuming. It's also not what everyone else is doing in the industry. It's also wasteful. And it also is a lower quality job than if I was airbrushing, which is what I need to be doing. The next thing, I said this already, if I ever want to sell online, if I ever want to do volumes, I have to outsource some of my time-consuming components to my manufacturer, namely the 3D printing. I use the makerspace right now to do my 3D printing. And don't get me wrong, this place is fantastic. It's an incredible resource on campus. But I'm going to graduate soon, and I won't have access to this place forever. I need RBD's help to start using an someone to outsource my 3D printing to. Shapeways.com can do it for me. And doing that's going to save me time, it's going to save me money.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Happy to take your questions.
Judges.
So when you walk into a Cabela's, there are hundreds of different lures out there already. How do you get any kind of traction in that? Once you do, how do you prevent the guys who are already manufacturing these things very inexpensively from just imitating your design and selling it themselves?
It's probably not what you're thinking. It's not IP. Patents don't work effectively in the fishing ware industry because they're very difficult to protect against some of the giant companies.
Yeah, I knew that. That's why I'm asking.
Right. So the effective way to do it is branding. You need to stand out compared to other products. And I do that in two ways, by being the first provider of a 3D printed lure and by incorporating this new movement pattern to my design. Now, other people might copy that. That's happened in other baits too. Chatterbait's a great example of that got copied by everyone in the industry. But the person who created that bait was able to use that media attention as being the creator of this, that got copied by all these other people, to leverage other products. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm introducing this product. I expect other companies to start copying it. I have other things that I want to launch that I can, once I have the money, to protect and brand things effectively. So that's part of the plan.
So airbrushing. You want to airbrush with the money?
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't quite get to that.
Do you know how to airbrush?
So I have airbrushed before. I have used the equipment, but I don't own it myself. So I would not say I'm an expert at airbrushing by any means, but I can. And I want to learn because it's going to make my product better. It's going to save me cost. It's going to save me time. That's the biggest problem now.
So the 3D printing thing seems to be, I guess, a value proposition that you're offering to clients. But do fishermen even know what 3D printing is?
Absolutely. In my pitch, when I'm talking to people on the water, hopefully they don't realize it's a fish, but it's 3D printing gets them to listen. The movement pattern gets them to buy. So they definitely are aware of what's happening with 3D printing. And in fact, that's my first market to target. There's a place online you can download files to print called Thingiverse. Thank you. Yeah. On Thingiverse, there's several fishing lists that you can download that are replicating existing things. They're not innovative, but they've been downloaded 12,000 times. There's already people out there who understand that 3D printing and fishing lure making go hand in hand. And there's a lot of guys and gals out there who make fishing lures themselves and are using this technology to expedite their process of creating lures. Because if you're not 3D printing a lure, which takes, or you're carving it by hand, which takes about 6 to 10 hours. So 3D printing is already helping amateur lure makers out there.
So, sorry, I'm stealing questions. Again. So what is your end goal? Like, what do you see this being? Do you want to be sold in the Cabela's, or are you looking to be in the mom and pop shops like your?
You can't just walk into Cabela's and expect to sell. You have to have a market already. You have to have a brand already before they'll even entertain your emails. So yes, that is the end goal. That is, of course, the end goal. But there's a bigger picture to be taken away from this concept. And the reason why I continue to 3D print my products, because in other comparable forms of fishing, like fly fishing, where it's easy and cost saving to produce your own lures, 95% of anglers do, 93% of anglers do. I really believe that because of the customization and ease of use of this technology and the price is coming down, anglers are going to start considering, well, why do I need to buy these things? I can continue to make them myself. Now, granted, you're going to say, no, you're going to cut your sales out, right? You're not going to make any money. Well, that's not true, because even in the fly fishing world, although 93% of anglers make their own lures, they purchase 80% of them. So they're making some, and that's a great way to engage with your client, but they do buy quite a few because it takes time. And if you can get a ready, beautiful, finished product for $25, it's an effective use of time.
So right now, you've sold 42 lures. The constraint is, I guess, the airbrushing is going to help you produce more. How much is the airbrush going to help you really? Like, in terms of, give me a time frame, sales projection.
So this is numbers that I've talked to other people who make lures and airbrush, and they say that it takes about a third of the time to airbrush a lure once you get good at it. And so right now, if I'm painting, it's going to take me about an hour and 25 minutes to do a paint job. And I'm being conservative when I say that I can cut that down to half an hour with an airbrush. And that's if I'm paying myself $8 an hour, because I want to be honest with all the costs that I'm accounting for all my costs, then that saves me a significant amount of money in my total costs, which allows me to have a greater margin at my $25 sale price.
Okay, so you're making $5 a lure. Can you realistically scale this up to a point to make enough money to make it worth your while? I mean, you're paying yourself $8 an hour, I guess, but that seems like not what you thought.
Okay, so it's all about stepping stones. You got to work with what you can do right now. And what I can do right now is I can take another step towards scaling, which is to outsource some of my production. But I am very confident that I'm going to be taking a step away from that in the future once I can afford and have a need to do my in-house production. One man with printers that I don't own is not a very effective way to make lures. But as I grow, I do want to do that in-house. And the reason why is because it's very expensive to outsource your costs to Shapeways. You save a lot of time, and that's where you make up your money. But if I can somehow do it myself, 3D printing the plastic itself is 20 cents, and the electricity is pretty negligible too. So that is, to answer your question, yes, this is one step, but the next step will be then to get my own printers and to do it in-house once I have enough sales to justify that.
Okay. Can we open it up to the audience and we can get back?
I'm baffled by the cost of your body.
Yes.
I mean, is there anything about it that actually warrants using 3D printing?
It's if I don't do 3D printing right now, as a small guy who's selling custom 50 lures, I'll have to buy aluminum molds, I'll have to develop a relationship with a manufacturer, and I'll have to do a minimum order of 5,000.
You could also start with a block of plastic and a CNC router.
And that's true. CNC routers are also expensive, more expensive than 3D printers actually now. And the other concern too is that I don't know if the innovation that I've created in this product can be made any other way besides 3D printing. I can't really go into that for disclosure purposes, but there are things about how I use a 3D printer that enable this triple action, and that's kind of why
If you have
it hasn't
hollow
been done
spaces
yet.
in it or something, then you're making use of 3D printer. If it's just a solid blob.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's the honest answer. No, it's not. There's other reasons too to want to 3D print. I can save costs in the future on materials like the metal hook hangers and my ties that are on traditional lures. I can 3D print those out of plastic, and they're rated. I've used tensile meters on campus for 80-pound test line, which is much stronger than traditional pound test line that anglers use to fish a lure like this. So I've actually made a product that's minimum but viable in cost by printing some of the other components. And I also print rattles inside of them too, which saves assembly, materials, and manufacturing costs. So no, that's a really good point. Thank you for asking my question.
Any other audience questions?
Okay, so you mentioned that this is not protected by any IP. It can be easily copied, and one of your objectives is to start building your brand. Talk to us a little bit about what your brand, I guess how you want people to feel about your brand, what is the message of your brand, and what kind of marketing you're planning on doing to start supporting that.
So Josh's industry's got a problem called range anxiety. Our industry's got a problem too. They say that lures are designed to catch anglers and not fish. And the problem is that these companies try to create these lures to be gimmicky, to be colorful and flashy, that attracts anglers and not really fish. I think we want to brand ourselves on authentic lures, lures that are designed to perform on the principles of biology, not just marketing. The second component to our branding is eco-friendliness, which is becoming a hotter and hotter topic in the fishing industry. In the early aughts, plastics went eco-friendly, soft plastics like rubber worms. I'm printing these out of a corn-based plastic that biodegrades over a 10-year period of time. So I've actually been able to do that in hard baits by using 3D printers and their ability to print with a material called PLA. And so I want to continue to say, like, look, if you lose a lure in the environment, which happens all the time, don't feel bad about it because you're not littering, because this is made out of corn that is going to be bacterially decomposed into carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus. And the metals on them will also, through rust, be turned into elements that can dissolve in the water and become components of the ecosystem. So eco-friendliness and also lures that work authentic.
Cool. Thank you very much. All right. Thank Thank you very much, Keen. So before we get our last group up here, our last judge of the day is Tony Kershaw. So Tony is an innovation specialist down at Center State CEO, where he works at the Tech Garden. He provides high-level business development assistance to address the needs of early-stage entrepreneurs, emerging businesses, and innovation industry leaders here in upstate New York. And one last upcoming event that we'd just like to let you know about is the annual Panache Business Plan Competition, which also takes place this upcoming spring. It is an opportunity for businesses to pitch their ideas to a wide range of Syracuse University officials and also local investors and entrepreneurs. Grand prize winners win, I think, $25,000. $20,000. It's a really cool competition. Many of these businesses go out to be very successful, and you get to see a lot of the cool stages of business development. So stay tuned for that. Finally, our last company of the day, Electro Beats. You guys ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Take it away. Here's your mic.
Thank you. This isn't our brand. This is just our intro. Okay. Oh. Draw your attentions to our shirts. All right. So let that all sink in for a bit. All right. Go for it.
We are Electro Beats. What we do is that we enhance the nightlife experience by providing LED sound-activated features for events, concerts, and music festivals.
So let me tell you a little bit more about the product. So what we're wearing right now
It's totally reacting to what we're saying.
everything it reacts to everything. So this is our baseline product. What we're doing is we're taking this product, which is internationally sold at many vendors, malls, concerts, and we're taking it and making it better. So right now, I mean, they're this, but they will be better. So we take companies' logos and we make them interactive. So we go into the company and enhance their brand. We put their logo into LED lights. And what we're doing is we're segmenting into the music industry because, I mean, what's better than having something light up to the sound of music? So we're going into music festivals and we are taking the brand of music festivals and putting it into LED lights. So we're going into the music festival industry because it's a nightlife experience and we're trying to enhance that experience.
Here's what we know about music festivals. So the average person who goes to a music festival will spend $50 in a t-shirt that doesn't light up. And we can actually do it because we have the talent.
So here we have Gabriella. Gabriella is one of two of my partners, and she owns one of her own businesses back home in El Salvador. It's a very similar business, but she made this business profitable back in 2011 within 4 weeks.
We also have Hannah, who's the founder of her own company that is currently operating in Syracuse. Besides, she's a consultant for other students entrepreneurs.
Alex is our engineer. He's a mechanical engineer here at Syracuse University.
And he's currently working in improving our technology.
So now you're probably wondering how we're going to make this active effort and make this shirt a reality. So what we've already done is we've already contacted music festivals and have 5 music festivals that have decided to help make our dream a reality. And they're going to work with us to make our product implemented into their festival.
Besides, we're already working on the paperwork for the LLC, and our website will be launched in 3 days.
As we move along with our product and our company, we're going to have people out on the streets repping our brand to get the word out and to let people know on campus that this is going to be brought into our campus community and into America in general.
But we need your help. Today, we're asking for $500 so we can create the 5 mock-ups for the specific music festivals that are interested in our brand.
So let us light up your life.
landscape out there. Are there other products that are similar? You know, where do these come from?
There are other products that are similar. There's a few companies that create these T-shirts with LED technology. However, they don't personalize it, and they're not reaching out to specific music events or other places. So far, what I've been working with has been with manufacturers in China who are reliable, who've been doing great business for the past 3 years.
Okay, so just to clarify, you guys will provide a finished product to these music festivals for the customer?
Correct. So we're going to be selling to them commercially. So right now they have like those Monday T-shirts that they're ridiculous. They cost $50. They're overpriced and they're boring. But what we can do is make it a 2-in-1 hit. So you can get something. If you've ever been to a music festival, and if you haven't, I'll let you know that music festival industry is more focused around nightlife and a full experience. So it's more of how you're going to interact with the music and how you're going to interact with others around you. And they typically wear a lot of light up apparel of sorts, and by enhancing the T-shirts that are going to be sold with the logos at the music festivals, we're offering them an alternative solution to buying the expensive like fur vests that light up, the pants that light up. We're giving them another option to enhance the brand of the music festival, and the lineup goes on the back of the shirt as well. So it's not just the logo on the front. We provide full shirt and full experience.
So you guys do the design, or you enhance their existing design?
No, we use their exact design. We just put it into lights.
Okay, so why can't somebody else do that?
So, I mean, anyone can do it, just like Kim was saying. I mean, anyone can make the product, but what we're doing is right now the only technology that exists is this big battery pack with this big wire that goes up, and then this brick of an LED screen. And what we're doing is we're having Alex, our engineer, create a whole new technology to make it more wearable, right now you can't wash it, so it's going to be waterproof and resistant, sweat resistant, more flexible materials. So we're just going to make it all together better experience with the shirt.
Why did you choose an LLC as your company organization?
So right now, we don't want to take on the risk because, I mean, we both have our own businesses. We both understand the risks within a company. We're open to anything. It's just right now an LLC was what was free.
It doesn't protect you from risk. It doesn't actually reduce your risk at all. You know that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a limited liability company because you personally still retain the liability. The company doesn't take that away.
But pertaining to the product specifically at hand, we're not looking, I mean, it was free, so that's what we took originally. I mean, it wasn't for any specific reason, but when we grow them, we'll have to grow, we'll have to make it a corporation. Right now, because we're a smaller business and we're a startup, it's going to be an LLC because that's what was free and available to us.
Okay, it's not actually free. I mean, you have to do the publication requirements, right?
Well, what I'm doing right now is an entrepreneurship bootcamp that's on Saturday. So as part of that bootcamp and Whitman, we get the LLC. That's what we're saying.
Right, and then you have to finish it. And
so
actually,
they do it all for us. Like they'll do the publication because you have to have the publication in the newspaper for 3 months to start with. They're doing everything. They're paying for everything.
Yeah, the LLC just doesn't do much for you. I mean, it lets you open a business account, but it doesn't protect you from any kind of liability.
It's a start.
It's a start.
So $500, that gives you 5 mock-ups of what? Of this?
Oh, of the design. Okay,
the design, not the better technology, right?
Correct.
Okay. So then you have the 5 mock-ups. What are you gonna do with those mock-ups?
So once we have the mock-ups, which are just going to be the digitalized version of their logo that we're going to take to these companies so we can start signing a contract.
Okay. So
This is our start.
promotional.
Exactly.
Right.
Money-wise, the cost-wise, that's going to let you create the 5 mock-ups. How much does one of these things cost to produce? How much are you going to sell it to them for? Versus the $50 T-shirt that they buy for $3.
Okay.
Right?
So producing a T-shirt of these, it's $550. Having it here with the shipping and the taxes ends up being about $11. We're selling it to them in $29, and they're selling it to the audience in $50.
But that's with this existing technology with the big battery pack, and they're not washable.
They're dry cleaning washable.
So for the 5 potential customers that you have, do you know how much those contracts would be worth should you secure them?
We don't have an exact number, we're just starting the conversation. That's something we will see in the future. The first music festival will be in June, but they're already starting to plan for it, so that which is why we need to carry and get these contacts. Okay.
We started this business like 2 weeks ago, so we're very new to the whole venue, to the whole market. So we're just getting our bearings right now, and we heard about the idea on Juicer, so we thought that we'd use this as a starting point because we're so new. So we're trying to get as quick off the ground as we can because we want to have the shirts rolling out by June when our first festival is.
So how big are those concerts?
How big? Well, Tomorrowland has over 150,000 concert goers.
What if they order 50,000 shirts? Great. I mean, I know that's not going to happen, but you see my point.
I mean,
scaling.
That's
What are you going to be able to produce?
Okay, so right now we're working with an OEM in China, and he's been able to produce
over 5,000 t-shirts a month.
And including,
No, because what we're trying to do right now is have them pay up front, and even if they were to pay only 50%, we still have enough money to have them.
And that's why we have it at that price.
Okay, so my question is, why do these music festivals, why are they selling these t-shirts?
So light up t-shirts specifically, or
No,
just
no, no,
t-shirts
in general. Why are they selling the t-shirt, that t-shirt?
Oh, so I mean, if you go to any
$50 t-shirt.
Oh, so if you go to any concert or festival, it's just merchandise that they sell. It's just merchandise that they have available. Like if you went to like a Beatles concert or like a John Lennon concert or like Taylor Swift concert, you have those shirts, but they usually are marked from our market research between $40 and $60 just for like a plain shirt.
Okay, so they sell them to make money?
Yeah, it's not revenue.
And are they having a problem selling the existing shirts?
No, it's an alternative to the classic mundane shirt because at music festivals specifically, it's a whole culture of having light up things. So I mean, if you go there, you can see light up shoelaces, light up pants, light up anything. So we're giving an alternative to the classic, like the classic shirt that's offered, because instead of just having a regular shirt and putting that on and then putting everything else over, we're giving that like a dual purpose. So it's something that's lighting up to the sound of music, and then adding to their outfit further.
Okay, and what I'm getting at is they're trying to make money. So the margins, I mean, I think what Laura was saying, the shirt is like $3 and they're selling it for $50, so they make $47. Right. Now, if you guys are selling the shirts for, was it 14 or 20? 29, that severely cuts into their profit. I don't know if there's enough value in the shirt for them to overcome that huge.
Yeah, retail.
Huge. They go the same price.
They're going to say,
They will be selling it for $50.
those two?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, what's the non-light up ones sell for 50? They got to ask more.
well, they can ask for more. If they ask for more, then they'll have a bigger margin.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna have two options.
Our suggested retail price would be 50.
Right, but if
Okay.
they're already
The numbers don't
make
selling
sense.
a regular
Okay.
t-shirt.
Let's
right?
if we could open it up to some of the audience questions if there
No,
were any.
absolutely.
So,
It's just to give it,
Does that-
because regular t-shirts, they do sell. They sell well. But the concert goers are looking for an alternative to that t-shirt. It's not just, it's a culture.
you first.
Like the t-shirt's a t-shirt, but there's a culture just behind the music festival. And this is allowing the music festival to cater to that culture.
So do you think there'll be two? Sorry.
What?
Will there be the regular t-shirt and the LED
Yeah,
one?
yeah, they do both.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna, we're not
Oh,
substituting, it's just another option.
Oh.
Okay.
More options.
Cool.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Tesla first.
Yeah.
Could you repeat the question to the microphone too?
Oh, yeah.
You're asking if there's more opportunities to use the technology in.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Concerts, obviously, even if it's just parties for an event or companies, corporations.
I mean, you can use them really in anything. I mean, we can use them in clubs, sports teams. You can use them for, I don't know, sorority. Another idea that we had to get off the ground with events was using those ugly sober monitor shirts that Greek Life has to use. They're mandatory they're like 5 or 10 of them are mandatory to wear at each party in each house. We're thinking of changing those sober monitor shirts into like sober monitor light up LED t-shirts as a starting point. So I mean, that would generate revenue. I mean, you can use the technology in anything. We're just starting out focusing on a niche market so we can grow our business.
My question was, you said that they're dry cleanable, right?
Yes.
So if you're going to a concert, if you're going to a party, if you're a sober monitor, a lot of times you're gonna get, if you're going to Tomorrowland, you're gonna get paint on you, you're gonna get the powder on you, you're gonna get dirty, you're gonna get muddy. And then you're pitching to college kids, so are you expecting them to then take it and dry clean it? Because a lot of them are gonna want to just throw it in the washer.
Right.
And then that ruins shirt, or are you guys working to make it like machine wash?
That's one of the improvements we're trying to make, which is making it washable in the washing machine. Right now, you can even wash it by hand, and I've gotten rain on it, and it still works.
You got rain on it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, English is my first language.
Any other audience questions? Judges, any last comments?
He looks like he has a question.
Oh, perfect.
So I've produced 3 shirts now, and usually with shirts, when you produce them, it's the more you produce, the cheaper it gets. But is that going to be the same thing for this, which is, does the technology actually warrant that concept, which is the cheaper produces, where the more you buy in bulk, it's going to get cheaper? Or is it going to be that it's the same cost per shirt every single time you produce it?
It is the same cost per shirt every time you produce it, because right now it's the cheapest it could be. However, the shipping, that's where you can save money. Like if you're making a huge shipment, it's a lot cheaper than
If you look at, say, custom ink, or the shirt that came out of here, the company Squeeze My Tees that came out of here, it's when you print in bulk, you get a discount. The thing is, you're stating that the only discount I get is for my shipping. I'm saying, I know you guys are just I'm just saying there's a slight disconnect, which is you're supposed to get an incentive to buy more, and I'm not seeing an incentive to buy more of these shirts.
Okay, no, I understand that. I understand where you're coming from. You can the incentive is already there because it's already priced so low. And if they buy more shirts from us specifically, then we will lower the price. We are always open to negotiating with concerts and festivals. So it's not that 29 is just the number that we're sticking with right now. And if they buy a lot more, then we're obviously going to lower that as the demand comes in.
Yeah, we have that today. Is there a
We'll
minimum
need that. We haven't.
See, to make it profitable, it would have to be about 40 to 50 t-shirts. It's really not a lot.
Cool. Okay. Thank you very much.
One more question.
Cool.
Setup charges for the custom logo. Yeah, I didn't see any of that. You're giving us a per piece. Does that per piece include all the setup charges for the customization?
So making the mock-up for the customization, that's $100. That's what we need those 5. So in case you're going to order 100, that's going to include those, obviously, spread.
Okay. Thank you guys. Okay, everybody, that's it for our 4 teams. Thank you, everybody. So the judges are now going to have some time to deliberate. We're going to reconvene around 3:25 to announce the results. We still have some food in the back if you're interested in grabbing a drink or a bite, and we'll be back momentarily. Space cat powers.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do I announce at? So I announce their decision, and then I announce the costume. So how does that?
Technology is going
What do you?
They started with thermal.
It was getting too hot, so I was taking more questions. But not,
Nice. Wow.
I think they don't tell you.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Yeah, right? 3 minutes to make that whole class. It's pretty ridiculous. Yeah. Get the remainder. How's that cardboard? Right?
Yeah.
We wanted pizza.
Yeah, but I think we're actually gonna.
We really wanted to say when they could hammer us about that question. It was so difficult because I was like, but there's so many people watching our head. That's what it goes through. We have every single person sort of sign an NDA, which is like the regulations. And anyone that's watching it, it's just like. Yeah, it took so much to make it so much better.
My bubbles are all high.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. So my mother.
The whole?
I know. I know.
Yeah, I was getting so funny. It was like, no. Right? No. Is that all you need?
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, there's organic pesticides that you can eat that are yes, that's right.
Yes. His team is his family in the restaurant. The way we're going to make this work is restaurants that we have Heather, right? You're right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it just doesn't, it's not a startup. It doesn't feel like I'm saying, yeah, it's not like
They're not cooking out a bakery.
exactly.
You can go just like a bakery.
I feel
Summarize it. Great.
It's not like you want to.
It's like 3 hours worth of this.
Yeah, so I don't.
I actually have it.
We're going. Oh, I didn't think it was a week.
Yeah. Yes. No, I know. I'm sorry. No, everything is good.
Not teaching, but here's my car. You can't keep this up.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So
They've got charging stations right now.
Oh, no. So I
There's not a
I get very excited.
they need to wear this.
Because they're not really gonna get that much work.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's 5.
5 days a week. Where is this solace? But you need some sort of charging, right? So it's not. Well,
It's just a kiosk. It's just a kiosk. Let them have some kiosk.
Space cat. Rescue.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's still better. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's why most
You would choose it.
It's a solution to a problem, but
No, yet though, we haven't seen the problem.
The problem is so big that it can't be solved by just.
exactly. My concern is not yes, the micro. Scale. You should have a massive problem.
I know. Cars are not very well solved.
Big companies will take massive amounts of installations.
I have subsidized that.
Yeah.
Especially at these New York State, exactly freeway.
I mean, granted, he is charging a lot for 40 cents.
Letting on the car.
Still,
But think about, I mean.
he has one. How many people are going to be charging? One. Around here. One guy is.
Like that's my point. You finally you're not getting on the road to Rochester.
So, I guess the someone that's concerned. Years. That's not clear. It is so fair.
Yeah, like a vehicle.
The fun.
Oh, well, that's it,
Marketing.
right.
It's gross. Yeah, look at it. I know, but does it taste gross?
But-
I know free.
so-
It's based on delicious.
Okay, so
So I asked for
Is it like?
I don't know, my family can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
Look, I iron stomach. The ravioli I ate yesterday would have killed somebody. All it did was it just made my stomach rumble a little bit. It gave me a headache.
I like my food doesn't give me a headache. It's generally my
It usually doesn't. I usually eat like. I'm not even gonna tell you that. I'm just impressed, but just to eat things.
I eat things.
Like when I go home.
Oh, yeah. All right.
When I go visit my like parents in North Carolina, usually there's no crowd and they get so excited. Yeah.
He is but especially usually it's like dark, so you have an hour. I also had that service closet. You can't get them, but I talk so much time to spend.
Where do you guys live?
For market research. So why don't we do that? Say, you know what, we want to do this is what we want.
I grew up with TV. I had a stream. I had a
Just sweet.
You want numbers.
We want you to do all of this. Yeah. Not just like
So I'm pretty sure Massachusetts property taxes are tax market research.
Yeah, they're the second list, right?
He's in a 85 solid. That's what we've got right now. We don't know how big it's What's the size of his market? How many? You're gonna get some. How many? 40 cents per kilowatt hour. What's break even point?
Exactly.
What is your point of view? We dole it out.
No one's sit down meal at the service plot. I'm down where my folks live. They have farm. Yeah. I had
What? Where?
Well, it's probably a business, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember the price.
That's literally $8.
But he retired with no income, is that why?
Yeah, it's because the state is in.
That's $10.
I know it is. Virginia's not bad either, though. You can have land in Virginia and not get
You.
I think you said one more.
Wait.
Oh, rain when the dies.
Otherwise, those are feast.
Otherwise. So you're demolished. The goat is or disappeared. That's a better one. Oh, I love that movie.
I know.
I decided on this tonight in the same.
That's my one.
I don't know what what's our show? What you watching? It's important. It's amazing.
I don't know. I just downloaded it.
I didn't download it.
That was clear.
See, I like good horror movies.
He came back.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
What's the story? Oh, you got sushi. That's a joke.
I'm saying that this is like staring.
Music festivals, but Michael the Dangerous
But they've got one.
Have you been there? So I used to.
So yeah, so I
their
interest to like
I used to my freshman year as a thing at the. It was like one of my freshman bonding experiences. And that guy, like, he's so right with his market. Like, there is like I never went to some dodgy except and I know every single conversation. So like he really
And then I think it was
yeah, granted it's
yeah, look at
yeah, like until I've done this with you 5 or 6 times, I'm not going to do it right. So I'm more concerned about scaling if they do it. They might, right? So that's what they need to really.
No, that's the bad. The one on the 100 shirts.
But even 100 shirts is still bucks. How much do you price membership? 1189. Already spending $50 in stickers.
Right, so.
They open at like 5, but
The lights up.
I've gone for 5 or 6 times. It gets packed. Yeah.
So I guess the advice to them really needs to be you need to better understanding what you want. They are not the odds. It's the odds that you're going to get them to sell to. Yes, buy from you on account. That's not going to happen.
Like they understand their market itself. They need to understand where their decision is.
Very itchy. It's like it doesn't look
So
good.
maybe they go for 4 $100 on
Oh yeah. Tell somebody to do it.
or just have a report back.
Sarah was
Oh man.
So I don't. I will send you the IDS. My logo. Send it to your manufacturer.
Well, you go to British, I can charge you $75 to sue.
She said the setup charge is $100. So if they want to set up, she's not.
No, I know. I will.
So that's
No, their setup charge is $100 per logo. So what they're going to do is pay for the setup charges, and then I assume they're going to pay for the demo T-shirt. Yes. Yes.
it's a teaser. So it's just
Like, right.
I'm just trying to think of the processes you're going to actually go to.
Maybe they'll send it and then they'll talk to us.
Let's answer the question.
I just take notes because it's see that they can actually get a talk to them about where their decision.
No, it's actually good.
so many answers.
I actually also forgot to ask them.
Actually, I made that a prerequisite. You need to be.
They need to be in the court themselves for 41 days.
I'm okay.
Hello.
We don't want, well, we want them to think. I'm trying to do that. Are out there right now in this area.
Because it sounds like the $2,000 upfront charge doesn't, they would have to spend $3,000.
Yeah.
He's got nice money for it. So.
I'll get the mic.
Got very hot at the end.
Okay, everybody, we're going to reconvene to get going with the awards. So thank you, everybody, again for joining us for the second Idea Juicer of the fall semester. It's been a real fun time. Before we get started, though, it is Halloween. Some of us here are in costume. So we actually have a costume award, which is going to go to Optimus Prime. I mean, look at that costume. It's pretty epic. So come see me afterwards. You're going to get a book, some sunglasses, and a t-shirt. And it's going to be great. So yeah, we'll get there in a second. Cool. So thank you so much for the 4 companies that pitched. It was really great to hear from all of you. We really enjoyed it. So the first that we're going to talk about is fast casual sushi. Unfortunately, fast casual sushi will not be walking away with any funds today, but I'm sure you had a great experience, and the judges definitely want to talk to you afterwards. Feel free to join them and ask for input. They're happy to offer it. Next, Electro Beats, offering a new alternative to music wear. Is going to get the full $500 in funding. So congratulations. You want to come up? Come on up. Come on up. There you go.
Thank you so much. Oh my God.
Are you concerned more about your market, who are not the attendees, but the people who are administering the venues?
Okay.
Right? But we think the mock-ups will help you get some more information about what it's really going to be like.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Don't worry, I'll keep tabs on these guys.
Yeah, don't worry.
She's
around. Thank you, guys. Thanks.
Thank you again to Electro Beats. So next up, Prey Tackle, custom 3D printed, innovative fishing tackle for the 21st century. It's also
and green, environmentally friendly.
Biodegradable.
Biodegradable. He's also going to get $500 of full funding. Congratulations. All right. Can you get a picture? Oh, yeah. Yes. I like it. I like it.
Hold up. Yeah, there you go.
Great. Awesome. Thank you very much. Feel free to talk to the judges afterwards as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are done with me?
Yeah, for now.
All right.
And our last spark charge, bringing convenience to electric vehicles, fighting range anxiety, has also been awarded $500, but on the contingency that you show the judges some of your market research. They want to hear a little more about what you talk about in your pitch, so feel free to talk to them afterwards, but come on up. You still get your sheet and, you know, yeah, a picture.
Well, actually, no, there's more. So we want you to do your event as you had planned it.
Thank you.
But we have specific questions that we want you to ask your market at that event.
Okay, so,
That's why we're giving you the money.
so I can use this money to hold place the event.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
okay,
what we want
good.
you to do.
To the event, but then ask people if these stations are set up here, is that really going to relieve your range anxiety?
I want you to come. I'm gonna invite you and have you ask all the EV people who actually drive the cars there.
No, that's your job.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we'll do that.
Nice try.
Awesome. Cool stuff. Thank you, everybody. That concludes. Oh yeah, and also again, thank you very much to our sponsor AT&T, who has made this event possible. We couldn't have done it without them. Thank you, everybody, who came out. Those watching online, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Woo!
Yeah.
To do what?
Stop the broadcast.